welcome back, and I'd like to talk with you a little bit today about strengthening up your market position and some of the components necessary to do that. Alright, so first of all, looking at market leadership and really penetrating your market, we need to look at marketing, and the two components that we look at in marketing are awareness and preference. So I'd like to ask you to ask yourself, in terms of your market position, would you say you've got a high level of awareness? Where is that out of 10? And preference. So do people choose you over other people, or your company over other companies in terms of the default choice? So if you say you've got a high or strong market position, then rate that as high and relate it back please to awareness and preference. Okay, so you might even create two scales. Is there a lot of awareness for what we do, and do we have preference over other competitors? So high and low, and we're looking at awareness and preference. So these are the four things that we need to have: awareness and preference. In order to not have to compete on price all the time. So that's the start of it, and I'll get into the underlying value components shortly. Okay, so next, do we have an organised sales team? So if we have an organised sales team and we have adequate marketing resourcing, then it reduces our cost of sale. So we need to be organised. So would you say that you have a good sales process? You have marketing processes in place that reduce your cost of sale. And okay, so do we have an organised sales team? We need to decide whether we have high or low on the scale. And let's look at that. Would we say we're a 6 out of 10? Where would you say you sit in terms of having an organised sales team? So you want to own your market, then you would need to have an organised sales team. And how you sell and the level of competency in your sales team will make a big difference to your market position. Believe it or not, how people sell is actually looked at from the marketplace's perspective as a contributing factor to whether you have value or not as an organisation. Okay, so now we're going to look at value proposition. So in relation to McDonald's, one of the things that McDonald's does really well is they add a little toy and a little piece of paper, and they call it a Happy Meal, which turns a regular cheeseburger into a Happy Meal. And who do you think wins the game when you're out for the day and your children are hungry? You ask them, okay, well, this happens to me. I ask my daughter, what do you want to eat? And a Happy Meal wins every time. So beats Burger King hands down. So the burger is very, very similar to the Burger King cheeseburger, but the Happy Meal wins every time, and the market leader gets the business. So I want to ask you a question to do with your business. What's your Happy Meal? What can you add in terms of service or in terms of your value proposition that makes your burger irresistible? So this is what we need to work on against the customer's needs. So we really need to understand our customer and look at their buying motives and stack our value proposition in line with the customer's buying motives. We have to think about this. We have to look at the precursors, and there's some good work that's been done on this. So not difficult to find, it's not difficult to do. We just need to think about it and flesh out the value precursors that make our offer irresistible to customers. This is what's going to stack us as a market leader, make our value proposition irresistible. So question is, what's your Happy Meal and where do you sit right now? So is your value proposition high or low in terms of its irresistibility to your marketplace? And lastly, we need to look at your capability to deliver. Do you have the resources in-house, yes or no? Do you have the resources in-house to deliver on the promises that you make? Yes or no? And if you don't have the resource in-house, then would you need to potentially outsource or bring in some external resource to support delivering on your promise? Okay, so when you don't have a strong market position, you're constantly forced to compete on price. When you do have a strong market position, with all of these value components lined up, selling becomes a lot easier and your offer becomes more irresistible to the market. Thank you.